In the world's most dangerous waterway, Hormuz, that breaking point everyone thought was impossible has finally happened. The US has sent something massive to open this strategic strait. 2 guided missile destroyers, the USS Frank E. Peterson Jr. and the USS Michael Murphy, passed through Hormuz on April 11th. But these ships are just the tip of the iceberg. Because right behind these massive naval assets come the underwater drones that the US has sent to Hormuz. CENTCOM has officially announced the launch of a mine clearance operation. However, this transit was far from quiet. As soon as the US warships entered the strait, a swarm of aggressive boats appeared. They were swiftly tracked by Iranian Revolutionary Guard naval units and faced an open challenge. While the US side proceeded on its route, stating that they were complying with international law and ceasefire rules. It was alleged that an Iranian-directed drone was destroyed by US forces at the peak of the tension. Moreover, while the Tehran administration officially denied the transit and claimed the ships had turned back, it declared to the entire world that it would respond much more harshly to military units in the strait from now on. The timing of this action-packed encounter in Hormuz, however, is even more noteworthy. After exactly 21 hours of talks in Pakistan, the parties failed to reach a definitive agreement. In other words, Washington might be preparing to make its final move with warships and underwater drones. However, right beneath these massive tankers and underwater vehicles, there is a much more insidious danger. The rogue naval mines irregularly laid by Iran, drifting with the currents, are lying in wait to trigger a catastrophe. They were laid quickly and irregularly by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, using small boats. What's more, a significant portion of these mines were caught in the Gulf's strong bottom currents and drifted miles away. Moored contact mines, magnetic/acoustic triggered mines, and drifting mines create a deadly labyrinth. Essentially, Iran has completely lost the ability to control the monster it created. The landscape has become chaotic. But the fact that 2 lethal Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers bravely navigated this route shows hope. As part of this critical mission, the US likely didn't choose these naval assets at random. Because these ships were not ordinary mine hunters. They were floating fortresses, equipped with the world's most advanced Aegis combat systems, capable of scanning hundreds of miles. Their mission was far greater than a simple cleanup. They were there to establish a new safe transit route and to prepare the conditions for that safe corridor that will escort merchant ships. The effects of having these missile ships in the strait are already being seen. Because 3 massive supertankers became the first examples to cross Hormuz following the ceasefire process. As you can see, the pieces in the strait are shifting significantly, and the global oil trade might finally be opened. But to say this, Hormuz needs to be clean enough to be brought up to conditions fully suitable for logistics. The real cleanup work, however, will be done by the high-tech unmanned underwater vehicles, namely autonomous drones. In the coming days, will we see a Hormuz completely cleared of mines and a reliable narrow strait route?